Bruce Farris already had a degree in marketing from Oklahoma State University in hand and was fresh from, as he terms it, a couple years on the ski slopes when in 1977 he saw an ad on TV for the OCCC EMS program. He enrolled and ultimately finished the program as a paramedic in 1979. Upon graduating, Bruce almost immediately began teaching EMT courses to OCCC students, following close behind in his footsteps. It was the beginning of an OCCC teaching career that would ultimately last 31 years until his retirement. During that time, Bruce maintained one of the highest success rates for his graduates on certification exams in the state. Because of Bruce and his fellow faculty, the OCCC EMS program has been recognized as one of the very best in the nation. Bruce was more than a professor. He was a mentor and fierce advocate for his students, often advising them long after graduation, supporting them in their careers and future educational endeavors.
I started the basic EMT program out there, and Bruce was my instructor. And most people don't know this, but in order to start school out there, I literally sold everything I had. I mean, I took the radio out of my car and sold it at a pawn shop to pay for tuition to go to school. I didn't have a plan after one semester, and so Bruce was my instructor for basic EMT, and I did really, really well in his course. And he offered me tuition fee waivers, but the circumstance in his mind, at least, was that I should continue on and not stop. You know, he gave me the stipulation, hey, I'll support you, I'll advocate for you, but I want you to go continuously through this and get your paramedic. And so where almost everybody in my basic class would stop at the intermediate level or maybe the advanced cardiac level, I continued right on. And Bruce continued to advocate for me along with the program director, and they helped me pay for my education. And then Bruce advocated for me again to go to work for Norman Police Department as a paramedic. And he had been a paramedic down there, and I encouraged them to hire me, which was how I got that job. And really, from there, I met so many people that went on to medical school that it encouraged me to go on and become a doc. And so, I mean, to be quite honest, Bruce, you know, was a friend and a mentor and a professor to me, and more than anything, he believed in me. You know, he encouraged me at a time when I couldn't have really been lower. I couldn't imagine how I could really get from here to there. I never could imagine I could do that. And I think on that very first semester, he sort of saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself.
For over 30 years, Bruce provided tough, thorough instruction to hundreds of our state's EMTs and paramedics.
He had high expectations, but the truth is he knew that these medics, these people that he was teaching, that they were going to have immense responsibility. And as a paramedic, you have a lot of autonomy out there for these people in their greatest time of need. I mean, the stakes are super high. So his expectations were high, but the job expectations are high.
During his time at OCCC, Bruce was twice recognized as the EMS Instructor of the Year by the Oklahoma EMT Association, and he also received the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award from the Oklahoma Ambulance Association. Bruce also maintained a clinical practice for many years, working first with the Norman Police Department, then Shawnee, Oklahoma Emergency Services in his time off from the college. Bruce was even an advocate for the OCCC health professions programs in his own home, inspiring daughter Shiloh to enroll in the nursing program from which she is preparing to graduate soon.
I've come here even for daddy-daughter work day, you know, coming way back in the day and getting to see Dad teach some EKG courses, and I remember him teaching me CPR when I was so little because they had the full-out dummies back then, and I mean, I've always had such a great, how do I say this? I've always had such an admiration for this place, and it hasn't changed since. I've had a great education here.
Bruce's longtime OCCC cohort, Brett Stafford, shares Bruce's wonderment at all the changes in the EMS program over the past 30 years.
The technical stuff is just mind-boggling. The things that we do today, back when he and I started this, we would have said that's science fiction. Pacemakers, in the field, glucometry at the bedside. Just the list goes on and on and on. It's incredible the technology that we have today.
Bruce retired from OCCC in 2010. In October of 2013, while working on his family's beloved lake house, Bruce suffered a serious stroke. Much of his immediate medical care was administered by his very own former students and friends.
They were in Grove, Oklahoma, working on lake house when he stepped down and Mom noticed the facial drooping, and so he got her all the way to the hospital, and she had been calling us and just explaining everything, and just it's all a blur, but then I remember some things just so well too. He ended up being flighted to Norman because Robbie France happened to pick up the phone and was like, "Oh, Bruce Farris, yeah, bring him here." And we were at Norman, and he got gurneyed in, and I just remember everyone there knowing who he was. I remember people from the Distrand and techs and to the nurses and then the doctors, like everyone had been impacted by him in some way, and just for that to kind of come around full circle for them to then take care of him too was really beautiful to see. And yeah.
Today, Bruce and his wife Amy enjoy life together in their longtime home and continue Bruce's therapy in order to help him continue to play a part in the lives of the many he has blessed with his knowledge, experience, strength, courage, and friendship.
In a huge number of my really important personal relationships, Bruce is literally one footstep away from those people. And I thought, well, wow, that's crazy, that's unique. And then I started talking to people at Bruce's retirement, and I found out that sadly that isn't unique. That doesn't make me special, because he's influenced all of these people. He's influenced hundreds and hundreds of people in the exact same way. He's advocated for, there were 12 guys that I was a paramedic with that went on and became a doctor. And every single one of them, Bruce Farris advocated for to become medics and to go on and become physicians as well. And I don't know how many countless others after I left the school that he continued to do that for. So, personally, he's made a massive impact on my life. And when I think about, what is the point of life? Surely the point of life is to try to touch and influence as many people in a positive way as we can. If that's the truth, then, there's an example of a life well lived.